I mean, that's hard. I have a lot of guilty pleasures. I guess, I mean, people I know eating food, but I won't say no to French fries. Like, it's a really bad problem. Like, I love Shake Shack, so it's even worse. But yeah, I like French fries. Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Jessica Wu. I'm from Southern California. I was born and raised in Newport Beach, California, in Orange County. I was one of 5 Asian people in my area because it was mostly primarily a white neighborhood. So it was kind of interesting for me to grow up because I was in such a homogenous community, and I had to find my ways to differentiate myself and also learn more about my cultural identity and I guess come to terms with my cultural identity since I was surrounded by literally white people all the time. But yeah, I grew up with my grandma and my grandpa. They were living with us in our house. So it was just my entire family all together. I have 3 siblings, so I'm the oldest of 4. I was motivated to move to New York and go to fashion school because I was always interested in fashion since I was a kid. I remember being in 6th grade and going to my aunt's house and flipping through her Vogue magazines. It's so stereotypical, but that's exactly what I did. And I just went through all the different magazines that she had, fashion or not, or even tabloids and stuff, and was just looking at what celebrities were wearing. And it always interested me to be involved in the arts in some way. And fashion was something that I felt I could express myself through, the easiest way, basically, in terms of dressing myself. So I actually started a blog, a fashion blog, in high school, and that carried out through actually college when I moved to school for FIT. Prior to that, I was able to kind of network locally through my blog, and so when I did that, I was oh, this is something I could do for the rest of my life. I think the biggest challenge probably was just producing content for myself. Now it seems, how many years ago was that? 10 years ago? Yeah, it was basically 10 years ago, which is crazy to think about, but a decade ago, trying to figure out oh, what camera should I use? All I knew basically was what I was gonna wear. So I just put together my outfits and forced my sister or my mom to take photos of me in my front yard. I would say that a lot of what I currently do is not really something I learned in school. I mean, a lot of people do take courses to pursue specific careers in fashion, and for me, I didn't feel the majors that I took, even though they kind of got me to where I am, I don't feel they apply certainly to everything that I do. So I mean, yeah, I think I would consider myself self-taught. I would describe my personal style as comfortable, easy, and classic. One of my biggest influences is definitely my mom. When I was first starting this interest in fashion, I didn't have money to buy my own clothes because I was in 6th grade. I literally was in elementary school and my mom was still buying my clothes. Obviously I didn't really like what she was buying for me, so I would actually go into her closet because I knew she was pretty stylish. I would go into her closet and take things and she wouldn't know, but she'd always be where's my shirt? And I'd be wearing it. And her sense of style, and honestly it's the bloodline. So her mom, which is my grandma, she used to own a boutique in Taiwan where she used to go to Hong Kong and Japan and Korea and buy clothes and then just sell them in her store. That kind of carried, I think, generationally to me, and I felt that fashion influence definitely trickled down from my mom. So I recently started a company with my friends. It's a women's wear line called Peter Doe, and we started it a year ago, and it's something that I'm proud of because we never would have imagined it in the 6 years that we've all known each other. It's just sprouted from the ground up, and it's taken off and it's going really far. So I'm excited to see the growth of our company in the next few years. Working at Peter Doe has definitely had a strong impact on my life. We all kind of made this baby, and it's something that we have to take care of. Working at a company like that, that is, growing very quickly has taught us to be really quick on our feet. And so I feel in a startup culture, you learn the most, and this has been the most startup-y startup I've ever worked on. It's really awesome to kind of get all your hands involved and just be super hands-on with the process and really learn every aspect of how to run a business. Oh my God, everyone loves talking about bleeding. It's filled with beans and rice and herbs. TLC, framboise glycolic. I grew up on, Always and Secret. And I started Period Space as a result of my personal experiences with a very rocky teenage years of menstrual health. And so I basically spent a lot of years in pain and in loneliness. I felt like I couldn't relate to anyone, not even any family members or like my sister or my mom, and it was just like such a taboo topic to be speaking about. When I came up with the idea, it was after I think a few months of me like complaining on social media. I would always be like, oh my god, my cramps, or like, oh my god, this period, and like so many people like reached out to me and were so active about the conversations that I was having, and they were like, wow, I never thought about it that way, or I didn't know that, or this is like one of my biggest insecurities and I'm like happy that you're talking about it. So when I had these like slew of responses, I was just like, I don't see a platform out there that has people sharing these stories, because it's still a taboo topic. And so like I wanted to create a place where basically anyone could just talk to each other and the world about what they're experiencing, or some topic in menstrual or reproductive health that they're interested in. So all the contributors on my website are basically crowdsourced. I do like an open call, and people submit their essays and we edit them and then we publish them. I've been really lucky to not see any negative reactions from this platform that I've created, because I think that it was something that was missing from society. We have Planned Parenthood and we have other reproductive health resources, but even for me growing up, that was kind of like still taboo. It was like, oh, why are you looking at that? Or like, why, like, do you need to look at that? And so this is kind of like a neutral, safe space where you can just read about other people's experiences, but kind of like feel that, relationship. It's also a like a web resource, like a health resource. So if you go on there, there are a bunch of menstrual health facts and resources. I think the hardest thing that I have to deal with in my profession, I think, come from my experience as an intern. So one of the things that I feel like I have trouble letting go of is giving work to other people. And that comes from me assisting and interning and having, worked for crazy people who just like treat their employees like trash, basically. And so like I never wanted to be in a position where I would be there and be like dictating someone to do something like stupid or like time wasting, even if it was like related to the career. But I just like, usually when I'm like working and I have interns, I just feel bad sending interns to do stuff. So I need to kind of like get myself together and be like, they're interns, like you can send them to do stuff. I don't like the word influencer. I think that it is definitely like a part of the 21st century culture, but I do appreciate the opportunities that I guess being a so-called influencer has offered me. I mean, I've been able to work with Adidas and like Apple and Glossier and just a bunch of brands that I really admire, and just to like kind of even collaborate with them and not just, model for them is really cool to kind of bring a vision to life mutually. This is so cliche, but I think the advice that I would give to someone who is interested in pursuing a career in the fashion industry is just to put yourself out there and be really determined to make yourself a part of the industry, because the more you kind of sit on the outside, the less you are, obviously involved in it. So the more you pursue internships and assisting work and just networking with people at any level, honestly, like the more likely you are to just be able to get into the industry and follow your dreams. I would like to be remembered for my efforts to democratize access to menstrual health resources and to empower women and people who have periods to feel comfortable with their self, and also for the company that I started.